be using Canvas for the course management part of CIS105 in this online section. Mostly I'll distribute documents through here. Your syllabus is here. You'll take a few surveys through here. There's one project you'll do within Canvas, but most of our work is all going to be done in MyITLab. MyITLab is a product that's published by Pearson. It is used in hundreds of colleges and universities across the nation. This is also the product that Arizona State University uses. To gain access to MyITLab, you're going to have to purchase an Access account. You can get that through the bookstore, bundled with your textbook. You can buy it directly from the publisher by going to the registration. Either way, you're going to need to register your account. You also need to set up your browser to use MyITLab, including putting in some trusted sites for pop-ups. You can do that here through the students support area and walk through the steps for whatever browser you're using. So to register, you're going to click on Student and provide some information. You're going to choose the course ID that is in your syllabus that was sent to you, and you will enter your MyITLab Access account information or purchase that account here. You can get a 2-week free trial if you're waiting for financial aid or something. Do that. However, make sure that when you finally do purchase MyITLab that you don't create a second account. Simply upgrade your free trial account by putting in the access code. If you do not do that, all the work you did during those 2 weeks of free trial will be lost. So once you have your account, you're going to sign into MyITLab. You will find the course that you're taking for CIS105 and navigate to that course. Now mine's going to look a little bit different than yours, simply because I'm looking at the instructor view, but you should have a link for course materials over in the menu on the left. This is where you will access all of both your non-graded and your graded task. So I've taken the course and divided it into 3 folders here at the outset. The reading materials folder, I'm going to click on the folder icon, contains a kind of a blog that Pearson keeps up called Tech Bytes Weekly. It's current information on what's happening in the CIS industry. You will find e-text to your books if you purchase the e-text, and there are ways for you to also upgrade to a print version if you wanted. I'm going to go back in the list here, back to my course. So I'm looking at that root level of folders. So in CIS105, there are 2 things that we cover in the broad scheme of things. One is the concepts and terminology and processes of the computer information systems or information technology industry. That is what this technology and action area covers. It's sort of the theory part of CIS. Then we do some hands-on work with Microsoft Office and give you experience using word processing, spreadsheets, databases, and presentation products, all out of Microsoft Office. So it's Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. And those projects are here in the Go with Office 2016 folder. You'll do about half the course in each one of these. And each week in the 16-week course, you're going to basically do 1 chapter out of Technology in Action, or 1 unit, and 1 unit out of Go. If you're taking this course at a faster pace, such as in the summer, we offer this in 8 weeks, you're going to do basically 2 chapters each week. We also have some 12 and 14-week sessions that will be a little bit faster pace. You'll probably do 2 chapters of Technology in Action and 1 of Go 1 week, and then the next week it'll be opposite that, 1 TIA and 2 in Go. So let's take a look at what Technology in Action is like. So in Technology in Action, there are 13 different chapters. The first chapter is a little bit unique in that there's only an end of chapter exam. There's not a couple other things. I'm going to show you what happens in some of these chapters. So I'm going to jump into, let's do this chapter 4, Application Software and Tech in Focus. So each of the chapters has a folder for non-graded activities and one for graded activities. I suggest you work through the non-graded activities in addition to reading the Technology in Action textbook chapter. There is a PowerPoint presentation that I would suggest you watch. Now, in this case, there's actually two parts here. There's Chapter 4, and then there's a Technology in Focus, which is a very small portion in the textbook, usually it's about 4 or 5 pages. So in this case, I would watch both of those. Most chapters, you're just going to have a chapter audio PowerPoint presentation. Then there's also some preview videos. And again, I would suggest you watch these. And then some chapters have sound bites. And sound bites are multimedia presentations, kind of like watching an audio PowerPoint presentation. There are no points associated with these. These will help prepare you for that end of chapter test and give you some
In this soundbite, you'll
information.
learn tips and tricks
So
on how to best use image editing software to enhance digital photographs. In this soundbite, we'll show you ways to use image editing software to remove red eye from photos and to add other enhancements to produce professional-looking effects. A few of the popular image editing programs are PaintShop Pro, Photoshop Elements,
and to add other enhancements to produce professional-looking effects. A few of the popular image editing programs are PaintShop Pro, Photoshop Elements.
Okay, so I'm going to stop that there. I'm going to close this window.
Technology in action. Computers are
You
such
see,
an
it shows
integral
me that
part
I
of our
viewed
lives
that.
that we don't
Same
often
thing if
stop
I
to think
view
about how
the
far they've
PowerPoint
come
presentation.
or where they got their start. In just 40
Technology
years,
in action.
computers have evolved.
Computers are such an integral part of our lives that we don't often
The
stop to
Osborne
think about how
Company
far they've
introduced
come
the first
or
portable
where they got
computer,
their start.
the Osborne, in
In just 40 years.
And you can jump around
computers
here.
have evolved.
You can go to other slides. So you can take
The
a
Osborne
nonlinear
Company
approach to watching
introduced
this.
the first portable computer, the Osborne, in
And again, I'm going to stop that in the interest of time. And once again, it shows that I viewed. It doesn't show that I viewed all of it, but it does show that I at least opened it. So I'm going to come back in the breadcrumbs here, back to chapter 4 again. Let's look at the graded activities. Every chapter in Technology in Action has an end of chapter quiz. It's 20 questions. Each question is worth 3 points. They are multiple choice. Once you open the exam, you must take the exam. You get one shot at it. Do not leave the browser window. Do not shut down your browser. Do not shut down your computer. Don't let your computer time out, or you will score 0 on all of those. There are also some help desk scenarios, and these are opportunities for you to role play being a help desk employee who's fielding
Choosing software.
phone calls
In this help desk, we will cover the following learning
from clients
objectives.
and answering their
List
questions.
the types of applications
You will have a
included in
supervisor who
productivity.
gives you some input on your responses.
Welcome to your shift at the
Choosing
help
software.
desk. You currently
In this
have a
help
live
desk, we
chat
will cover
session
the
waiting.
following learning
George
objectives.
has some questions about
List the types
software.
of applications
So I'm
I'm
going to click
Louise,
continue and
the
move on.
supervisor
Give you a
on
little-
duty today.
here's what you're gonna
I'll be
learn.
checking on your performance and giving you feedback throughout your chat session.
Waiting. George has some questions about software.
Hi,
I'm
how may I
Louise,
assist
the
you?
supervisor
I just
on
bought a
duty
new
today.
PC from
I'll
you
be
guys,
checking on your
and I'm wondering what
performance and giving you
software I need
feedback
to
I'm
go
gonna
with
click
it.
chat with
I know
support
I want to have
professional.
Microsoft Word, but I'm not sure what else I should buy.
Hi, how may
Select
I
the best
assist you?
response from the
I just
choices
bought a
below.
new PC from you guys, and I'm wondering what software I need to go with it. I know I want to have Microsoft Word, but I'm not sure what else I should buy.
Select the best response from the choices below.
So as you answer these, you'll have 3 choices, and really all 3 are probably
That's right. The best way to give
fair
advice to
answers.
George is
One
to
of them
determine
better
what
than
his
the
needs
others.
are. Click Next to continue.
So I'm going to click
Well, when I
this
bought the
third choice
computer,
as
it
That's
didn't
my
come
response.
with much
The best way to
software
give advice to
pre-installed.
George
Other
is to
than
determine
Word,
what his
I know
needs
I'd
are.
like to have an email
Click
program, a
Next to
spreadsheet program,
So I'll
and
click
something my
Next.
daughter can use to make presentations.
When I bought the computer,
You
it
have
didn't
lots
come
of
with much
options.
software
Your choices
pre-installed.
are explained
Other
in
than
greater
Word,
detail
I
in
know
our
I'd like to have an
FAQs,
email
our
program,
frequently
a
asked
spreadsheet
questions.
program, and
Select the
something my
best
daughter can use
FAQ
to
to
make
provide George from the
presentations.
choices below.
You have lots of options. Your choices are explained in greater detail
That's not
in
the
our
best choice.
FAQs, our
Vertical
frequently
market
asked
software
questions.
is software
Select
designed
the
for a
best
specific
FAQ to
industry,
provide George from
such
the
as
choices
property
below.
management software for real estate professionals.
Okay, so I'm going to choose
Click Try Again
the
to
wrong
select
answer.
another
Choice.
option.
Vertical market software is
That's
software
right.
designed for
Considering
a specific
George's
industry,
needs, a
such as
productivity
property
software
management
suite may
software
be
for
a good
real
option
estate
for him.
professionals.
Click
Click
Next
Try
for
Again
additional
to select
information you
another
can
option.
provide to George about productivity software suites.
That's right. Considering George's needs, a productivity software suite may be a good option for him. Click Next for additional information you can provide to George about productivity software suites.
When you've gone all the way through the active help desk, then you will get a score, and you'll want to record that score in your grade sheet checklist that I handed out through Canvas. It's an Excel spreadsheet, and it's just a way for you to track your progress with the course and see what your grade is at any point in the course. I'm going to close this window. So there's 2 help desks in Chapter 4, and then there's the end of chapter quiz. Each help desk is worth 10 points. You may go through those more than once, and you can do them 3 times. And then the end of chapter quiz you can only take once. The end of chapter quiz will present 1 question at a time. You get a warning here that you can only do this once. Once you click start, you must continue and complete the exam, or you will score 0. So there are 20 questions. 1 question at a time is presented. Choose the answer that you think is the best choice and click next question. You may use your book as you go through these, but do not exit the browser window. All the questions and answers basically come out of the textbook, as well as the sound bites, the PowerPoint presentations, and maybe the help desk scenarios. So this should be the last thing you do in the Technology in Action chapter. Once again, I'm going to exit out of here. So I'm going to go back into my course. And let's look at the Go with Office units. So in Go with Office, we have the first unit on Windows 10, and then the common features of all of the Office products in the suite, which is Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. So how you would bold text in Microsoft Word is the same way you bold text in Excel or PowerPoint or Access. Those are the common features. Then we have 3 units of Microsoft Word, 4 units of Microsoft Excel, 3 units of Access, and 3 units of PowerPoint, for a total of 15 units. I'm going to jump into the Word Chapter 1. The first 2 chapters, or first units, are a little bit unique. The others pretty much are all follow a similar suit as we'll see here, although the last unit in Excel on macros and pivot tables is a little bit unique as well. So as we saw in the TIA section, in the Office section, there are non-graded activities and graded activities for each unit. You do not need to read the Go textbook if you have that. This basically replaces that Go textbook. But if you like the look and feel of the textbook, you're welcome to do so. In the non-graded activities, we have a little introduction video when you first start an area. So in the Word Unit 1, there's an introduction video to Word. Once again, we can open that simply by clicking the down arrow and
With
choosing
Microsoft
Open.
Word 2016 Comprehensive.
Go. With Microsoft Word 2016
Techniques for
And this is a
entering
PowerPoint
text and
presentation,
editing
so you
text
can
are
jump
similar
ahead
in all of the
different areas.
Office 2016
Click on different
programs.
slides.
The insertion point is a blinking line.
Techniques for entering text and editing text are similar in all of the Office 2016 programs. The insertion point is a blinking line.
Okay, so I'm going to close that. So that'll help you learn the materials well. There's So this first one here is the features to Microsoft Office. This actually came in from Unit 2. When you first start a series of 3 or 4 units on a particular product, like we're starting Word 1 here, there is an introduction video to Microsoft Word, or you'll find in Excel 1, one to Excel, one to Access, and Access Chapter 1, and so forth.
Microsoft Word 2000.
Content is what you create when your own words or performances are recorded in some form. For creating content in the form of words, Microsoft Word 2000. There's
a PowerPoint presentation. I've also included kind of an optional presentation on how people use these products in the workforce with the techniques you're going to be learning. And then there are a series of Go videos that you can watch as well. They're very short, precise. The only problem with these Go videos, and notice it's a folder, so I'm going to click into the folder, is they're really not very descriptive on what they are. It's objective 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. These do align with the objectives in the trainings, and I think these are what you will see come up if you watch the video in the training simulations. And of course, these are all non-graded activities. They're simply there to help you if you've never used Word before, need a little more hand-holding, need to know, want kind of a little more of a lecture before you get into the graded activities. Typically, in each of the graded activities for Microsoft Office, you're going to have a simulation project you're going to go through. Before you do that, there is a walkthrough video that will walk you through what you're going to learn in Simulation Project 1A. Then you got a walkthrough video on Project 1B, and you do that simulation. And then finally, you're going to work with the software itself in doing a project, guided through some instructions, often with a starting file that you're going to modify, and that's called a grader project. You do need to use Microsoft Office 2016 to complete these graders. The grader projects, you will usually download a file, make some changes to it, upload it for grading. MyITLab will grade it automatically and give you a score. In the simulated environments, you will be given a series of tasks to complete, and those instructions are listed down here. So they first tell you to display a blank Microsoft Word document. So I'm going to right click and choose Create. In the simulated environment, there's often many ways to do the same task. Notice now it's giving me the next step, which is type internships available. In a simulated environment, every keystroke you make, every mouse click you make, etc., is evaluated against a set of acceptable practices. So I typed in internship available, and I go to press enter. I'm told that's an incomplete action. Notice I missed the S. It should be internships. Now I'm going to do one more thing here. If I just do a lowercase a rather than uppercase A, and I press enter again, I'm told that's an incomplete action. It's not what I was told to do, which is have a capital A on available. Oh, I also misspelled internships. So now when I press the enter key twice, it gives me the next step in bold print. At the insertion point, type this summer, and so forth. So I continue on going through the process. Okay, so I finished typing the sentence. I have not yet done the period at the end of the sentence. Notice the instructions tell you to include the period. And as soon as I enter the period, it tells me that question is complete. If it had been wrong, it would have said incomplete answer. Now it's taking me back, or taking me forward to question 2 or task 2 of the 16 that are in here. Okay, so now the next question, or next task, is position the insertion point at the end of the document. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then insert the text from W01A text file. Now, if I don't know how to do that, I can come to the learning aids in the simulation, and I can choose to read instructions. It'll give me step-by-step instructions. I can watch the video on how to do it, or I can go through a practice session where it'll walk me through step by step and have me practice it. I'm going to click watch video.
Press Ctrl-N to move to the end of the document, and then click the Insert tab. In the text group, click the Object button arrow, and then click Text from File. In the Insert File dialog box, click the W01A text file, and then click the Insert button to insert the text from the file into the existing document.
Okay, so I've seen how to do it. Now I can give it a try. I'm going to click at the end of the text, I'm going to go to the Insert menu, bring this drop down and choose Text from File, and open up that text document and say Insert. Question completed. And now I go on to question number 3. Continue through this process to get to the end, and then you will submit your document. You may also save it along the way and come back and open it. It'll come back to where you last left off if you can't do it all at one time. You may go through these simulations up to 3 times. So if you get a bad score, you're welcome to try to do it again. So I'm simply going to click Save and OK. Now let's take a look at the grader project. So it's at the bottom here in the list. It'd be the last thing I would do in this module. So here we can download the starting materials. There's going to be a Word document that you're going to start with. Then there are instructions, and you can preview those steps. You can also print out the instructions when you download the materials. So I'm going to click Download Materials. And notice when I choose to download, it's going to give me both an instructions document that I can open up and a starting document that we're going to use in our project, as well as they're going to have you place a JPEG and another text document, just like we saw in that step 2 previously of the simulation. So the grader project will basically give you an opportunity to apply the things you learned in the simulation. I can choose to download all these at one time. That's really what I'd want to do. Now when I download all of them, notice they came in as a zip file. So I'm going to go ahead and unzip that. A zip file is nothing more than one file that contains several files that have been compressed. I can't use those files until I uncompress them or unzip them. And that's what this folder will do. So when I opened up that zip file, it took me into Windows Explorer, shows me the contents of that zip, which contains those 4 files compressed, and I would choose Extract All. Decide where I want that to go. So it's going to go into my Downloads folder. I'm just going to choose Extract. And there now are my documents. And you can see we have our starting file, the file we're going to load in or insert in, our graphic file, and then here are the instructions. So I can open up the instructions here and read those, print them off if you like. But eventually, as I get started in this project, I'm going to need to open up Microsoft Word. One way to do that is simply by double-clicking on this. It should launch Word. So it launches Microsoft Word. You can also open Word first and then go to the File menu and choose Open and find your file. So basically, it looks like they have you starting with a blank document here. But let's go take a look at those instructions. I'm going to use an Alt-Tab to go between these 2 windows. I'm going to open up the instructions, which is also a Word document. I'm going to close the little clipboard over here so I can see a better view. And now I can see the instructions, and it tells me start Word, download and open the file named go16_wd so forth.docx. We've already done that. So the next thing is to type educational websites and then press Enter. So again, I'm going to do Alt-Tab to go back to my version of Word. And again, I'm going to close the clipboard here. And they want us to type educational websites and press Enter. Now you're not going to get any feedback here on whether you did it correct or not because you are not in a simulated environment. You're now in the real environment of Microsoft Word. So be careful as you go through. Make sure things are typed correctly. You've used the proper casing. You're following these steps verbatim. The next thing is Sturgeon Point Productions is offering web tie-ins with every educational video title in our catalog at no additional cost. So what you might find sometimes is easier if you have a large screen is to put one document over to the side and the other document, maybe one to the left, one to the right, or top and bottom, and work that way. You see the number of points over here that you will get for each one of these. Now these are totaled for 100 points. We utilize a 5-point tier grading scheme on these documents, so they're only worth 50 points. If you get an 86 or higher, you're going to get all 50 points. So there's some leeway there. When you submit this later for grading, and I'll show you that step in a minute, when you submit this for grading, it's going to go through and examine your document and look at all the codes that are built into your document and determine whether you did things correctly. It'll make sure that you spelled everything correctly, that you used the proper case, that you used proper punctuation. So it's going to evaluate everything. Things are placed where they're supposed to be placed. You're going to insert a document, make sure that that's inserted at the right point. You're going to do headers and footers. It's going to evaluate those. So everything's evaluated, and out of that 100 points, you'll be given a score between 0 and 50 based on these 5-point tiers. And you can see those tiers in the syllabus. When you're done with your document, let me go back to my document here. Once you finish your document, you would go to File and choose Save. I'm going to close out of Microsoft Word, return back to the grader project in MyITLab. If you've closed out of that or MyITLab is closed, you can always come back in. And so now that I've saved my documents, and we'll assume that I completely finished it, I'm going to upload it to the grader. So I can choose File that I want to upload. I'm going to go find my document. So here is the uncompressed folder. I'm going to open up that folder. Here is the document that I just modified. I'm going to choose it. I'm going to open it. Click the Upload button. It now has been submitted, or now has been uploaded into my account. The last step here is to submit it for grading. Now I only did 5 points worth out of that 100, so I should not get a very good grade here. So back in MyITLab, in the Word 1 Graded Activities folder, I can see the score that I've gotten. I got a 0 because I was so low in points, it fell into that very bottom tier of no points. Hopefully you will see a 50. This not passed will simply show up if you scored less than 70% on anything. Don't worry about that. If you're fine with that grade, you can keep it. On this grader project, you can go back and review it and do it again a second time to try to improve your score. So that's a quick look at MyITLab. I hope this will get you going, and good luck in the course.